Hello and welcome. After the latest update to RPCS3, which enabled the emulation of Gran Turismo games, the most recent updates have brought another significant improvement. Now, AAA games like the Uncharted series and even The Last of Us have been fixed. Based on what has been shared on GitHub, the fixes were applied to the way white color buffer and red color buffer patches were handled in the project. This means that games that previously required graphic patches to run properly can now be played natively on the emulator. The fewer patches a project needs, the closer it gets to the original hardware. However, before we dive into the details, I'd like to remind everyone watching the video to please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, especially if you're new here. That way, you won't miss our new videos released every week.
This video is offered by the members and Patreons of the channel. Thank you for your support.
If you were eager to play games from the Uncharted franchise without missing any details, this is definitely one of the best moments. As with this improvement, the games now display almost all details accurately. However, it's worth noting that if you're looking for optimized performance, it's still important to use patches to disable certain features that can cause slowdowns in RPCS3. So if you were hoping for a flawless experience with Uncharted games and even The Last of Us, the answer might not be a definitive yes just yet. To get this update, simply update your RPCS3. There's also good news for several other games that no longer depend on patches to run smoothly. Among them, Uncharted 2, which is being rendered without leaving out any details, and Uncharted 3, which has about 90% of its native features working correctly. The Last of Us, despite its lower performance, has also received several fixes. To render these games correctly, you need to activate the right color buffers options in the GPU tab and, in the Advanced tab, enable the options Read Depth Buffers, Write Depth Buffers, and Red Color Buffers. As this channel focuses on demonstrating how updates directly impact real-world performance, let's dive into the graphics and performance comparisons of the games. Starting with Uncharted 1, although the game didn't benefit greatly from this new update, we can already notice some differences. As you can easily see, the sunset effects in the new version are rendered correctly, while in the previous version with patches enabled, these effects are missing. As for performance, at least here, we can see a significant impact. In a game that already didn't have ideal performance, any non-essential effect that impacts FPS can result in a significant gain. Moving on to Uncharted 2, here we can observe the real impact on performance because I'm recording the exact same location. As you can see, the FPS dropped compared to the previous version with most features enabled, which achieved an FPS rate above 30 and was considered playable. Now, with all features enabled, the FPS drops to 15. Although this is one of the early areas of the game, those who have tried to run this game on RPCS3 know that this part can be a challenge for your hardware. The difference in quality is clear, especially when the character jumps and the motion blur effect appears. Now, in Uncharted 3, right away, we notice that using the new version without any patches may not be a good idea, as various artifacts can appear on the screen. I tested some optimization patches, but the artifacts persisted. I read in the progress report that this game was in a playable state at 90%, but based on my tests, there may have been some regression. Regarding performance, with both games running with patches enabled, there was practically a tie. So, this new version doesn't bring miraculous fixes. If the game didn't run well on your PC before, it won't run well now. I also conducted some tests on The Last of Us. Unfortunately, I lost the video part in the updated emulator version, so the gameplay you're seeing in the background is from the previous version. There hasn't been a significant performance improvement. The update post mentioned errors in some objects, with several squares appearing over certain effects, and it seems that this problem has been fixed. I played through the first part of the game and didn't notice any issues, but performance is still quite poor, so it's better to use the native PC version. Furthermore, there have been improvements in other games, although I didn't capture images of them as they already have PC ports. Let's take a look at some of them. Split Second, a racing game with power-ups similar to Mario Kart. Artifacts on the screen have been fixed, but the FPS still seems to struggle to maintain 30 FPS. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed demo. This game had a transformation from random squares on the screen to a fully rendered image, but I don't have information on its performance. Blur, another racing game with power-ups. Artifacts on the screen have also been fixed. This game is no longer available on Steam, so playing it on RPCS3 could be an interesting option. It appears that performance improved from 23 FPS to 30 FPS. Cars 3 Driven to Win. It seems that this game was not released for PC. Grid artifacts on the screen have been fixed, but performance doesn't seem to have changed significantly. Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012. Reflections have been fixed in the new version, but captured images indicate an FPS rate of 14, so it's better to use the PC port. Sniper Elite 3. Grid artifacts on the screen have been fixed, both in the main menu and during gameplay. The game's performance is good, reaching 60 FPS. These updates and fixes are a significant step towards improving the emulation experience on RPCS3, but it's still important to remember that for some games, especially those that already have PC versions, it may be more advantageous to play directly on the native platform. Finally, we conducted a test with God of War 3, using the same settings as before, to check if there has been any performance improvement in other games not listed that didn't benefit from the new implementations. Unfortunately, we didn't find any news in this regard, as you can see in the background capture. It's important to note that the performance achieved in these games depends solely on the capacity of a single core of your CPU, as this emulator is closely tied to CPU performance. I hope this video has been informative and helpful to all of you. Until next time.